which is applied on the leg, which is telling the motor activity. There is a fall detector. There is a cardiac monitor. There are so many devices which is keeping the patient away from the hospital and engaging the patient for his own health. They have Eva, they have Chirons. They just, an old person just has to call, Eva, I'm not feeling well. And the IOMT, all the sensors, it tells the doctor that the patient is not feeling well because the kids don't stay with them. So the patient is taking care of himself through the help of all these patches by pharmaceutical companies. Create the demand. Don't wait for the demand to be created for you.
Thank you. Just to add on, coming back to the challenges that we face, we first need to understand the dynamics. Okay, the industry is extremely regulated. All right, so we need to understand the internal and the external customer. As Marriam rightly pointed out, digital is an extended arm. It's there to support the internal team. But the external customer that we have, these are the healthcare professionals. We're not directly reaching out to patients because of the compliance issues, but the HCPs. The receptibility from HCPs in terms of digital is not up to the mark. They'd rather be more interested in genuinely being invited in terms of their marketing being physical events, so on and so forth. But, digital being receptive towards the HCP, it's still a big gap in Pakistan. As a marketeer, I would love for my brand to be there at every single channel, be it LinkedIn, WhatsApp, but that's a regulated industry in which I cannot. But if you talk about disease awareness, that is one area on which you can go, educate directly the consumers, the healthcare professionals. So that is something which can be done. So, unlike the FMCGs, the telcos, the other industries, it's a highly regulated industry. And yes, pharmaceutical marketing, digital is something which can be an extended arm. It's there to complement your overall strategy, what your narrative is, how you're taking customer on a journey. So that can be done. That is what we need to think, how we can integrate it as a part of our strategy.
Thank you, Omer. Thank you. Any question? Yes, please.
Thank you very much. I'm not from the pharmaceutical industry or the physics. I'm a journalist, health journalist. We're talking about pharmaceutical marketing and Dr. Zaki talking about the distrust on the pharmaceutical industry. Nobody has touched the topic of unethical marketing practices that is being done in Pakistan. Physician nexus we have here, and that's the major reason because the distrust is growing on. So what is you guys are doing to improve your perception in the people and on the physicians? Now nobody is trusting physicians. They are going on self-medication. AMR is on the higher side. 125 अरब की तो एंटीबायोटिक्स इस्तेमाल हो जाती हैं खुद ब खुद. Thank you very much.
I doubt I do not have any practicing physician right now in the panel to really, answer this question. But maybe as your question is really pertaining to the doctors, so maybe I can add it. Let's take the example that there are certain law in the book. Let's say Quran is giving you certain laws and books to abide by, and nobody is on you. So doing the ethical thing is basically not doing things what you think is good, but nobody is seeing you then you are doing something good. So I think the ethical practices, laws and ways and means are already regulated in Pakistan. It's all individual, I think, individual preference that how he want to do it. Pharmaceutical, I think so, if I could like to comment on, among the all other industries available in Pakistan is the most ethical industries. Let's take the example. If any rep is going to a doctor, telling him that what that product is, he is telling also not when to use this brand. In any salesperson pitch, you will never listen not to use my brand. It's only pharmaceutical guys who are going to the doctor, giving him the right information how to prescribe it. So they are telling also where to use, not to use. So that's the highest level of the ethics which we can, achieve it. But yes, there is a long way to do, and as a community we can do that. Yes, Dr. Zaki, please.
Sure, thank you. Thank you, Waqar, for the question. So I will try to create a connect between ethical marketing and digital. And so I've been working on ethical marketing for a long time, and in fact, I was part of the committee which created the Physician Pharma Ethical Guidelines in Pakistan, both for Pakistan Islamic Medical Association, Pakistan, the Chess Society of Pakistan, and for the Ministry of Health. So we studied different models across the globe. And in one of the conferences in the US, I was part of the panel talking about ethics, and I asked to my colleague, and she also said that the American Medical Association created their own ethical guidelines. So the guidelines were actually, although all the pharmaceutical companies and their associations and federations have their guidelines already, but the narrative which we are following, or we're trying to follow, is that it is, so there are three stakeholders in this conversation. One is the physician, the second is the pharma industry, and the third is the regulator, right? So sometimes we look at DRAP, that DRAP will create these regulations. Sometimes we look at pharmaceutical industry. The pharma industry already has ethical guidelines. They were developed, multiple guidelines are already out there, you can look them up. But as a physician representing maybe that fraternity, I believe, and I've studied, and the example which I'm giving you of the American Medical Association, it is the responsibility of the physicians themselves to regulate themselves, regulate their members. And I can tell you that if they regulate themselves, the industry will follow. I understand that with the Sunshine Act and with other regulations in the US, definitely it has helped. And you can look at every interaction between a pharma representative and a physician. But this conversation has to be driven by the physicians. The physicians need to take responsibility of it rather than just keep pointing the fingers towards the pharma industry. The physicians need to take responsibility because they are called masihas, and they are in for a different, they are presenting themselves differently. So Waqar, my answer to you from one side is that the responsibility lies more on the physicians, but yes, on the pharma industry, which has tried to create ethical guidelines, but because of one of the reasons is because of the pressures and the demands from the physicians, they succumb to those pressures. The second thing which I wanted to connect was that the digital marketing actually provides you with a very good ethical engagement opportunity. And that's why we are also pushing digital engagement. So through digital engagements, it perhaps is much easier to engage physicians more efficiently, more effectively, and more ethically. So अगर आपने एक तीर से दो शिकार करने हैं, तो engage in digital marketing, because जब भी आप virtual world create करते हैं, the monopoly and the manipulation of one person is actually decreased. अभी जो current model है, उसके अंदर the doctor is the king, right? And whatever he or she says, everyone has to, whether it's the patient or the pharma industry or someone else. But I think the digital environment creates an environment जहाँ पे सारे stakeholders empowered हो जाते हैं, और वहाँ पर जो monopoly और manipulation है और one stakeholder वो कम हो जाती है. Again, that's why we are pushing digital marketing. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. This question? Okay, please.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। अच्छा, हमारी बात हो रही है और हम बात ना करें तो अच्छा नहीं लगता। डॉक्टर साहबा ने कहा कि एक दौर था जीएसके के साथ उन्होंने काम किया और एक माजी बताया, मतलब पास्ट में ये था कि मेडिकल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव का वेट किया जाता था, डॉक्टर वेट करते थे, ट्रस्ट था, क्योंकि जब उसका विज़िट होता था तो वो जो उनकी क्यूरीज़ होती थी, जो उनके पूछने वाली चीज़ें होती थी, वो लिखता था। आज कंपनियां हैं उनके रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हैं उसी लेवल के। अब मैं एबट का नाम ले सकता हूँ, उसका रिप्रेजेंटेटिव उतना ही मतलब एक्यूपाई होता है किसी चीज़ को डिस्कस करने के लिए। GSK के हैं, फाइजर चले गए, बहुत सी मल्टीनेशनल चली गई, लेकिन डॉक्टर आज वेट नहीं करता उस सेल्स रेप का, क्योंकि अब पता नहीं वो ट्रस्ट कहाँ ब्रेक हुआ है। हमारी मार्केटिंग की तरफ से, फार्मास्यूटिकल की तरफ से वो ट्रस्ट ब्रेक हुआ है या फिर डॉक्टर की तरफ से हुआ है, लेकिन कहीं ट्रस्ट ब्रेक हुआ है तो वो सीनियर्स बैठे हैं, क्योंकि मेरे ख्याल में ज़्यादातर लोग जो है फार्मा बैकग्राउंड से ताल्लुक़ रखते हैं। तो एक तो वो ट्रस्ट कहाँ ब्रेक हुआ है उसको देखना है। दूसरा, हमाद ने बात की ओमनाई चैनल की। कोविड के बाद ओमनाई चैनल जो है बहुत डेवलप हुआ है, मल्टीनेशनल, इवन आजकल नेशनल कंपनीज भी जो है उसके ऊपर ज़्यादा मतलब इन्वेस्ट कर रही हैं। ग्लोबली एक कॉन्सेप्ट चल रहा है प्रिसिशन मेडिसिन्स का, फार्मेको इकोनॉमिक्स का। डेफिनेटली आज नहीं तो 10 साल बाद यहाँ पे भी आना है। तो जो मार्केटिंग इथिक्स हैं, बायो इथिक्स हैं या फार्मास्यूटिकल इथिक्स हैं, उसको नज़र रखते हुए हम पाकिस्तान में उसका फ्यूचर क्या देख रहे हैं।
तो आपके 3 सवालात।
हाँ, आप 3 कंसिडर कर लें।
अच्छा, तो
थैंक यू।
आप किसको प्रायोरिटाइज करना चाहेंगे?
मेरे ख्याल में
ट्रस्ट वाला एलिमेंट उसको प्रायोरिटाइज।
जी जी।
So anybody want to, where the trust is break down, how we can build it?
एक्चुअली ट्रस्ट मेरे ख्याल में बिल्डअप हुआ है, क्योंकि आपके ट्रस्ट की बेसिस के ऊपर आपके पास ऑप्शंस बढ़ गए हैं। जिस वक्त की आप बात कर रहे हैं उस वक्त चंद कंपनियां थीं, रैप भी कम थे। आज कंपनीज बढ़ गई हैं, ऑप्शंस बढ़ गए हैं। आपके ट्रस्ट के ऊपर जो है ना लोगों ने इनिशिएटिव्स लिए हैं। आज भी, कल और आज दोनों की बेसिस पे आपकी प्रायोरिटी जो क्वालिटी थी, और क्वालिटी को हर कंपनी ने इम्प्रूव करके, अगर आप डॉक्टर हैं तो आपके चैम्बर में अपनी जगह बनाइए और उस ट्रस्ट को रीगेन किया है। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि ये ट्रस्ट कहीं पे ब्रेक नहीं हुआ है, बल्कि और जो है ना स्ट्रेंथन हुआ है।
Thank you. Please.
Actually, last, if you talk about 30 years back, options of communication is limited at that point in time. Now the communication is open. A doctor do not need to wait for a rep to come in and then is going to give you the product information. You have an access to digital marketing. You can go and then collect information from there. That's one of the reasons that dependency of that particular person remains a little bit lower than what it was expected previously. I think that's one of the critical factors which is actually, impairing this element.
Thank you.
Just answering to the omni-channel, if you could just permit me. So basically, देखिए, what is the future of omni-channel or digitalization in Pakistan? This is for sure कि digitalization तो emerge हो रही है और वो होती रहेगी. Likewise, omni-channel approach is not something which is very unnatural. It is basically trending, goes along with our natural human being की जो हमारी अपनी जो nature उसके साथ है, which is all about customization, जिस तरह अभी दराज की बात हुई, which is all about care, जो right content, right channel के through आपके पास right time पर आपके पहुँच रहा हो. प्रॉब्लम है कि यस, क्योंकि ये अभी इनिशियल स्टेजेस पर है, सो लेट अस बी क्यूरियस एंड लर्न, और फिर अगर कहीं पर हमें इसकी कोर्स करेक्शन की ज़रूरत पड़ती है तो हम उसको अडॉप्ट करते जाएं. बट यस, इट हैज़ गॉट अ वेरी ब्राइट फ्यूचर, बट विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम बहुत सारे गलतियाँ भी हम लोग विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम हम करेंगे, एंड वी विल लर्न विद आवर एक्सपीरियंसेस एज वेल.
Thank you. Daniel, there was one point which you have mentioned in your presentation to developing the really persona of digital thought leaders, key opinion leaders. And you have very rightly pointed out that maybe in the critical process of identifying the key opinion leader in the scientific academia may be more stringent, and here they are. So with your experience, how you enlighten the organization and the audience here, what things they need to focus on and really help out those real talent out there which have a potential to become digital thought leaders?
Do you mean, are you asking about the challenge of like how to find those digital thought leaders?
Yes,
or
and how we can
develop
support them.
How can support it? Okay, great.
And how the industry will support them to, be more...
Great. I think there's an opportunity, I really think there's an opportunity to support that actually, because outside of Pakistan, like in Europe, where I've been doing a lot of work, we've seen the emergence of the digital opinion leader maybe further ahead on the curve. And now we know that, you saw from the data that doctors in Pakistan, as Dr. Zaki said, they're not all on social media, but some of them are on there. there's real value in them being there and how they can collaborate. And I think that some of the exercises that I saw companies doing in Europe over quite a number of years ago was to bring together emerging key opinion leaders and to teach them practical social media skills, to bring in some experts and to say, let's actually get them learning how to use social media. A great way to do it now is to find doctors who are using social media and get them involved in teaching other emerging key opinion leaders how to use social media. It will be great benefit to the doctors because they develop new tools to collaborate, and actually great for the relationship with the pharma company. I think that's a great way that you can help to kind of drive some of that engagement. I don't know if anyone's tried doing anything like that here.
Thank you, Dao.
Okay, I just have a question actually to the audience and to the panelists. So we're talking about digital marketing and all of that. So how many of those sitting in front of us have actually studied digital marketing, done a course on Coursera or in digital marketing? You are professionals, right? You are pharma professionals. So thank you. My question to the panelists, in your company, so you are leaders in your companies, do you have regular capacity building training programs for your product managers in your pharma companies? So each one of you, that's my question.
It's quite challenging at this point in time because my company is very small, so I do not have the capacity to do it. Although, working as a consultant to the industry, yes, I do support that in many ways. I consider this as a platform which you can use it. There are multiple platforms which you can choose, but this is one of the most advanced way of looking into it, and then this is going to add value to your organization. At the same time, this is going to differentiate yourself from the other. And that's one of the very critical factor at this point in time and in future as well, that how you compete with other companies in terms of your digital marketing enhancement and expertise, because this is not something which is that today you will start with the digital marketing and you will be an expert into it. You need to learn into it, and then you need to add value how you are going to implement this factor or this strategy in your marketing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I have worked in a couple of companies where, when the digital thing started, so they have very advanced and very well-structured programs on digital marketing, right from the very basics to very advanced things, skill building, subject matter expertise, everything. But interesting point is that it's the only condition is not only that you provide these programs to your employees. I found it that not many people are very committed to complete those programs. And that happens across the globe. Pakistan was not an exception. People get registered to those courses, but very few actually have taken out time to complete those programs. So a lot of resources are available, but how we, creating a culture of learning and then creating a culture of implementing those learnings is the main thing. I think one of the challenges which we face in digital marketing is to provide that right infrastructure and right leadership support within that organization. We have spoken about the training of the reps, how that used to be. I think that similar concept applies to digital marketing. Till the time you understand that this is not something which comes naturally to us, we have to learn that skill, we have to create that muscle, build that muscle, things will not improve. And you cannot start from the, from the end product. You launch a website and then learn how to create a website. So don't go to the fancy things first, build your foundation first.
Assalamualaikum. Actually, I'm not working in pharma company, but we are working for pharma company, like IQVIA data science AI-based company actually. So yes, in our company, we have made a part of our final evaluation of annual evaluation KPI that we need to learn all the digital tools that we are using. And the number one thing, what we did during the COVID actually, around the world globally, we are working in 120 countries. What we did, we cut off the face-to-face meetings. We come up with the virtual meetings. This is the number one thing that we give the clear message that together at one place, having a good fun is not our objective. Our objective is learning. if you are willing to learn, so you will take the classes virtually. So by this mean, we cut the cost and we invested this same cost in the development of AI tools. So yes, in IQVIA we developed so many AI tools that those are working for the pharmaceutical industry, like how to evaluate your new products pipelines, what are your products adverse events, how you can improve your product life cycles and all. So these things we are learning through AI. The ChatGPT is a very common example for all of us. So like if you don't have a professional software access, so use such kind of application. Those are easily available. Madam says like we need to create a demand. So demand create करने के लिए अंदर पहले willingness तो भूख लगेगी तो खाओगे ना भाई, मैं बर्गर भी रख दूंगा, भूख लगेगी नहीं खाओगे आप. तो खुद से जब तक आप लोग नहीं बढ़ेंगे ना, तो फिर वो कहते हैं ना, अल्लाह ताला भी कहता है भाई ये खुद अपना मुकाम से बदल के अल्लाह ताला आपसे पूछे भाई बता तेरी रज़ा क्या है. तो खुद से तो विलिंगनेस लाए अपने अंदर. फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनीज एंड अस आर डूइंग आवर लेवल बेस्ट, बट आवर कस्टमर्स लाइक आप लोग जो है हमारे पास, जैसा भट्टी साहब ने भी सवाल किया था कि जी बेड प्रैक्टिसेस है तो वो कहाँ से आई, कौन बताएगा, कैसे पता लगेगा ये कैसे है, उसको अच्छा कैसे कर सकते हैं. द बेस्ट वे इज कम्युनिकेशन, और जो कम्युनिकेशन का बेस्ट वे, दिस इज द डिजिटलाइजेशन. थैंक यू.
GSK, this is part and parcel.
Please.
Just to add on, yes, there are avenues in terms of obviously training and everything, but what Marriam has said, if you talk about by far across the industry, in terms of product management, you have 20, 25, 30 people, 40 people. You can't expect a product manager to be extremely good at digital. So for digital, you need to have a specific digital specialist. So, across different companies, different industries, they have smaller teams being made for digital, looking after their respective brands and areas. In pharma industry as well, you need to have specialists who can look after this. It's not up to the mark as we expect in comparison with other industries, but small baby steps are being taken. Yet, as I mentioned earlier as well, it's an extended arm. It's not going to get us a very rapid boom. It will take some time, but I think eventually that is the future.
Thank you very much. In the interest of time, there's interest of time.
No, actually, I want to sum up a bit, because if the
ma'am, we have interest of time. There's a namaz.
It's okay. You have called.
You can finish in 1 minute,
yes,
please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So if you guys are, you are trusting on your employees to go to the Coursera and take the courses, I must tell you that there are companies who are taking initiatives to go to the universities and then get these 3-4 months diploma programs done on digital health and everything. So here Dow University is also offering many things on Sundays, and even in my earlier university, we used to do for X number of the companies which used to come to us for all these training and development programs.
Thank you very much. You are a wonderful audience here, and I hope in the conclusion we all recognize the fact that this specific program, which is just, and the presentation which is just done by Daniel and the Health Asia, I think that this is going to be a precursor, and hope every participant who learned a lot of things from here can go back and try and experiment, and then when next year such session will be going to arrange, you people come up with your stories of success. Thank you much. जी please.
आपकी इजाज़त से. So जैसा खुर्रम साहब ने कहा कि this is just the beginning, और जो पहला स्टेप होता है वो जाहिर बात है, it's full of flaws, इसमें बहुत improvement की गुंजाइश है, we can see that, but we can assure you कि we will keep this going, the momentum. जैसे मैंने idea भी present किया, and I'm again requesting the leaders to take lead here. जितना, there is no other way to other than collaborating. We have to collaborate. और पाकिस्तान को, अगर हमने पाकिस्तान में चीज़ों को बेहतर करना है तो हमें एक दूसरे के साथ मिल के काम करना होगा. तो मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि प्लीज़ आप में से जो लोग भी कोई इनिशिएटिव्स कर रहे हैं, एक दूसरे को हेल्प करें, सपोर्ट करें. आज का भी जो सेशन था, इसको बेहतर बनाने के लिए अगले साल इसे और बेहतर करेंगे इंशाल्लाह. तो अगर कोई आपकी फीडबैक है, कोई कमेंट्स हैं, तो वो हमें दें. But we will not stop, we will continue, and next year we will have a better program, and आप ही के input से. So thank you very much.